So everybody knows about my amazing dog, Remy Martin, who I just am so in love with. And I have to say, as my friend Claudia says, I'm absolutely not the best disciplinarian, but I love him just the way he is. So today we have an absolute opportunity and pleasure to speak with Alexa Holloway. She is a dog behaviorist. And I just thought, with so many people that love dogs, how can we make a difference to our dogs? So I just thought I'd like to introduce Alexa. She is amazing at what she does and just a good human being, most important.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and it's fun to talk about dogs and their behaviors and everything to do with them, so I'm excited.
I know. And so how do we know when our dog needs a behaviorist?
You can actually start doing behavioral training as a puppy. Behavioral training doesn't always have to be wait till we have a problem. It can be, why don't we start now before a problem persists? So I tell people, once you start getting a puppy, get your trainer in right away, work on the basics for puppy training, and then have your trainer tell you, hey, this breed or this personality, I foresee these things happening. Why don't we nip them in the bud early?
Well, that makes perfect sense. Is it ever too late to have a behaviorist?
No. Every dog can improve, every owner can improve, and sometimes you need both of those things to happen at the same time. It's obviously easier when the dogs are younger. We can mold the behavior, we can change the perception for the dog, but when they get older, we can still do the same thing. It just takes a little bit more time and effort, consistency and persistence.
How do you know if it's more the dog or the human that really needs your help?
This is what I tell people. I can train your dog in 2 days, but I don't live at your house. I have to train you first. So you need to understand what we're doing with your animal. You need to understand how to communicate and then how to maintain that relationship. And that is my key as a trainer, is to really teach the owners. Because if your dog just stayed with me, the problem would go away.
Do you board the dogs at your house, or do the parents come with the dogs?
Now this is tricky. I have 2 different businesses.
Okay.
One is animal behavioral work, and not just dogs. Cats, birds. I used to be one of the trainers at this aquarium. So I've been training animals for a very long time. But the hotel, I consider it being like Disney World. You go in, it's about cuddles, it's about love, it's about having a great time. It's almost like camp. But the training is always done at the home. In most cases that I've worked with people, 85% or maybe 90% of my clients, their problems persist within their home. We make sure that we're nipping the problem in the bud from the beginning in the home, and then we can move it into the streets if that's where the dog is having the biggest issues.
Oh my gosh, so you come to us for training?
I come to you. It's
Oh my
private.
goodness.
Come into your home. We go over everything, go into each room, figure out if there's things that trigger your dog, vacuum cleaners, shades, little things like that. And then we work on how to desensitize your dog to those behaviors. And then we move on, and everything your dog needs, we can figure it out from there.
It's interesting because you say the vacuum, because Remy goes crazy with the vacuum. That and the Stanley steamer guys, he does not like them here at all. And so I'm always worried that he's going to nip them in the ankles.
Yep.
Because not intentionally, but because he just doesn't like it. And I watch him here with my housekeeper, and he will go right after that vacuum and try to pull it and pull the sheet off it and everything. And so what can we do? I'm sure that could be a common habit.
It's really, really common, and lots of dogs do that behavior. So what I tell people is, don't start this training process when you need to vacuum your house. So when your house is really dirty and you're about to vacuum, that's not the best time to train. Train when you have no desire to actually vacuum. Bring the vacuum out. Let them just see it. Desensitize them to the vacuum. Reinforce them for good behavior if they're nice and quiet while it's in their sight. Give them little rewards. Once they're good with that, then you can move on to making it more stimulating. Turning the vacuum on. Rewarding them for silent behavior. So it's not a hard behavior to train. It takes a little bit of consistency and repetition, but it's amazing how dogs can feel more comfortable once we're more comfortable. But since we know our dog has a bad experience with our vacuum and he barks, we initially now give off that vibe, and now they know that we're upset and they're upset and they all hate it, and it's just a big cluster when it can actually be quite pleasant. When I'm at the hotel, we vacuum 3 to 4 times a day minimum, and all those dogs let us do it. And that's because we work on that behavior.
Oh my gosh, I love that you have a doggy hotel. Do you have
Yes.
certain sizes or breeds that you board?
Yes, unfortunately, the hotel is located, Your Good Dog is located on Key Biscayne. Key Biscayne is limited in the amount of space that allots people. So I can't take big dogs, sometimes even medium breeds. Sometimes a fat pug is fine or a fat Dachshund, but for the most part, small breed dogs. We also have a very natural kind of holistic facility. So we have our own dog park in the back, a little garden, and that has a 5-foot wall. So we also have to take into consideration the athleticism of a young dog. Shiba Inu, for instance, could easily jump over a 5-foot wall if they wanted. So
goodness.
we take all that into consideration. A dog like Remy is easy peasy.
I love that. How did you start this career in being a behaviorist?
This is interesting. It was not my trajectory. I initially wanted to become an endocrinologist. I was pre-med at Southern Methodist University in Texas. Loved it. Was going to go to med school, and then decided very quickly that this wasn't the path that I actually wanted. I think this was more of the path that my family wanted me to go down. And I had a little bit of a moment, and I decided to go into graduate school for marine biology and animal sciences. So I actually went that direction. And while I was studying and doing my thesis, I got a job at this aquarium being one of the trainers for the seal and sea lions. So during the process, I worked with seal and sea lions, getting hands-on training and really good information from the animals and from the trainers. And then I grew into the flipper lagoon, and then eventually I went to the whale. So it was really interesting to kind of go through that progression. In that time, I received my degrees, and then I realized that I'm ready to branch out on my own and do my own thing. And because I had such a vast experience with animals that are 50 pounds all the way to 5,000 pounds, it was really easy for me to transition into domestic animals.
Oh my God, what a cool career.
Yeah, it's neat, and it's really out of the box. So it's not, didn't read a book about it. It wasn't something that I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to some ABC school, animal behavioral college. It went a very different direction. It was all based on instinct, intuition, and loving animals. And if you have those three things, you can be a great, great trainer.
And if somebody doesn't live in South Florida, could they do a virtual training with you?
We actually do this. So sometimes virtual, but I get flown. So sometimes I'll get flown to New York, get flown to the Hamptons, sometimes to North Carolina, to Colorado, California, and we do training sessions at the locations.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And you train all breeds.
All breeds. So it doesn't
All
matter
breeds,
the
all
size,
animals.
it doesn't matter how old or how young. If the dog has gone through some traumatic experiences, honestly, that's where more of the behavioral work comes in. But we also do cats. We can do, birds are not my favorite. We've done snakes. I used to work with some of the alligators at this aquarium. So we have a vast array of animals that I work with.
So excited. I know you're coming to our doggy event.
Yes,
this
I'm
year
so excited. Thank you for
with
having
your
me.
dog, and just, it's just an amazing career that you have, but mostly you help the animals, which is so important. And I can't wait to share this with my clients and with my friends. And she's incredible, and she just loves animals, and she's such a gift. So if your dog does need a little bit of extra help, like my Remy does, she is a great contact.